Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of The Mistake Zone, your weekly dose of our lives and the mistakes within them. My name is Jaren Wade. Joining me, as always, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba. Hey, Matt.
Yo.
How are you doing?
Yo, I'm feeling humid.
That I don't want to say that's great. Maybe it is, depending on how you like your temperature around you. But also joining us this week, one of my other best friends in the whole wide world, Rakush. Hey, Rakush.
What up, Jaren?
How are you doing?
I don't like that it's been going from like 15 to 28 degrees Celsius for any non-Canadian listeners. I don't like that it's doing that. It's really messing with my immune system.
Yeah, I know I was sick just a few weeks ago when the temperature dipped, and I wasn't really expecting that. And I feel like I'm on the cusp of getting sick once again. But we're here another week since we last, all joined together to discuss our many mistakes. But Rakush, I think you wanted to bring something to the table right off the rip this week. What's up, man?
Yeah, man. Okay, so listening back to last week's episode, we ended with the theater talk and the talk of like the hot pot in the dark and stuff. And like I've been racking my brain for the last week thinking about basically what could the worst thing be that you could eat in the dark? And I'm kind of curious, what do you guys think the worst thing to eat in the dark would be?
Is it specifically in the dark or in a theater setting in the dark?
In the dark. So like if you go to one of those like sensory restaurants or whatever, like one of those experiences.
So here's where context is really important. Is this something I'm eating at home or one of these sensory restaurants? Because I feel like my answers vary depending on what I have to do afterwards.
That's interesting. I didn't actually think that far into the process. Like I just assumed that you're going somewhere to eat it. But I would love to hear both your answers.
Regardless, it's anything that, sorry, Matt, but anything that involves a lot of soup or a lot of sauce where it can just get everywhere and you don't realize how everywhere it might be. Boys? Last night when we were finishing the latest season of Alice in Borderlands, I was having some ice cream with, some peanut butter and some bananas in it. And let's just say that ended up all over my shirt because I'm a child. And you shouldn't really put ice cream in peanut butter that you just took out of the microwave. But I think given how a messy eater I can be, anything with soup, anything with sauce, where especially if it's at a restaurant and I'm walking out with just a shirt full of, various liquids to make people aware that I'm a child, would probably be up there on my list. And I feel like if it was a home setting, the same thing would apply because you got to clean that up regardless. My whole station, at least in a restaurant, I can leave knowing that, okay, that's messy. That's someone else's job, but I know that's my job at home. But Matt, how are you feeling about these in the dark eats?
I mean, my initial thought was what like the first thing was like something that you have to dip. Because, then you have to find stuff in the dark. But
that's actually good.
Then I kind of moved forward, I guess, in that same area on anything that's, I guess, actually you need to put effort into eating. Something like, for example, crab or shellfish where you have to, shuck something out of a shell or something like that, where there's a real chance that if you miss, you might do something bad to yourself.
Like choke on something,
or you cut your finger when you're trying to pry open a shell or something. Fair. Or you pick the sharp part up of the shellfish or something.
So if we were to merge or fuse our two answers together, Matt, like a Yu-Gi-Oh that we're workshopping for a Vault episode. But if we were to fuse our answer, would the answer in our case be some sort of seafood boil at that point?
Yeah, I think, anything, a very saucy seafood boil would be a very complicated dish to eat in the dark.
In the dark. Yeah. That sounds, plus you're just trying to rummage through all the bags. You don't know where if there's a mishap with your gloves trying to figure out that whole situation in the dark, that doesn't sound great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you guys didn't go with anything that stinks. Like anything with texture or smell, like any of the sensory things. I'm surprised you guys didn't go with that route.
I'm being more practical. I'm trying to think what's going to be messy and end up on my shirt.
So I got 3 basically for different reasons, right? But and this one I'll give a shout out to a friend of mine who came up with this answer, durian. I think if I smell durian in front of me in the dark, I might yak, legitimately. I like just one of the worst smelling things in the world to me.
Would you not feel that way in like if you were doing it in the light?
But there is the thing is, it's the heightened senses. Like I feel like not being able to see it lets like the imagination run wild, which is part of the experience, right? Like if
so like would you feel the same if you were blindfolded then, I guess?
Well, yeah, if you're like to you it's in the dark technically at that point, so it's the same effect.
Okay.
The second one is natto. Because of the texture, like that sticky, weird.
I just refuse to eat that in general.
Yeah, like I can't. Like you know, I gave it a try. It's not it. It's not it.
That's not for me. That's not for me.
I agree. So imagine then if like not of your own accord, somebody puts that in front of you and you got to try to eat that. Like that to me is not great. But the third one, it's just a boiled yam, like a really hot, like baked or boiled yam that like if you just don't know that it's hot and you go and touch it, like yeah,
that's fair. I can't relate to you on the durian front because I don't know, I don't mind durian. I think every time I do have it, whether it be kind of straight up or say in a milkshake variant or a cake variant, it's always, you know, smell aside, I don't think the smell does anything for me. I think after my first taste of it, whether it be a sip or a spoonful, I'll always have that kind of reaction to it. But afterwards, it kind of settles down. And then, I don't know, I find joy in durian-based treats or just, you know, something infused with durian in general. But Matt, where do you land on the durian front?
I am kind of similar to you. I think maybe less. Like, I don't really enjoy durian all that much, but I'll eat it if it's offered to me. But it's not something I seek out on my own because I do find the smell a little off-putting.
Okay, fair enough.
You guys are better eaters than I am.
I think yours, because you seem to approach it from a what would be like gross.
Yeah.
And I think like me and Jaren approach it from what would be difficult.
Yeah.
Fair.
Where, I think you tackling it on the sensory aspect is a different view than my, man, I just don't want people to know that I'm a little baby boy when it comes to eating. So
that's your sense of pride, Jaren. That's your sense of pride.
Fair enough. But boys, another week behind us. And you know what? Maybe when we're eating in the dark, I have to pour one out because boys, I'm not sure if you saw it, but today was the day that Rock Band 4 was delisted from all digital storefronts on October 5th due to its 10-year license agreement. Rock Band 4 will no longer be available to purchase digitally. And with that, all the DLC that is kind of in this post Rock Band 4 era or when it released, now that's on a ticking time bomb of every 10 years. Once it hits its 10 years mark, they're going to be removed from the storefronts. Where I know I did purchase a digital copy of Rock Band 4 previous this week, just in case I ever lose the disc, which is a very real possibility when you're kind of moving from place to place. But I find myself, and the community finds itself in this kind of weird, you know, table flip of every week there was this mini excitement of seeing what would Harmonix announce as the latest Rock Band DLC. And 10 years later, over a decade later, it's, hey, these pieces of DLC will probably be delisted next week. You should pick it up while you have a chance. So the community is coming together with these little reminders. But Matt, as someone who has also played Rock Band with me, we've had our friendship band for, over a decade now. I feel like on the Mistake Zone on Saturday Morning Arcade, we always have a eulogy for the Rock Band franchise. But I feel like if this is the one, like with this, Rock Band seems to be fully dead. And gotta ask you one more time, Matt, how does it truly feel to be at an end of a Rock Band era?
Oh man, Jaren, it's bad. I hadn't really thought about Rock Band DLC in a really long time, but when it's gone, it's gone, and it hurts, Jaren. It hurts.
Where I've been trolling the Rock Band DLC wiki just to see, what songs would I want to pick up before they kind of, leave the storefront. And I found all the songs that I did recognize, I'd search up on the Microsoft store to see. And then, surprise, I already have it purchased and downloaded. So I don't know. The next few weeks, when all these anniversaries or the 10-year mark kind of comes for a lot of these DLC songs, it will be a lot of me just kind of going through everything just to see what I want to add to the virtual digital locker, just on the off chance we do come together. But Rakush, in terms of this 10-year kind of license expiration, how do you kind of feel about this whole thing when it comes to Rock Band? And kind of out of nowhere, Harmonix announces, hey, the 10-year anniversary is here. That means we have to delist everything because our license expired. Like, kind of with this thing being announced literally days before it actually happened, like, how do you feel that it's handled, and do you think there's something weirdly, I don't know, unceremonious about it?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because I think you can go a couple of different ways with this, right? Like, you can talk about the impermanence of games as a service versus as a product that you buy, like the kind of like messaging that the studios have been pushing for what feels like half our lives at this point. On the other hand, like, you can also just kind of talk about, like, if there's any game where sort of like that 10-year limit does actually make a little bit of sense, it's something that is licensing pre-existing IPs like music, right? Like, all these songs, they were not originally written for Rock Band. So it's a little bit of an interesting topic. Like, you can go either way with this. And I think for me, I think there's a bittersweetness to this for sure. But I also think 10 years is quite a long life for a game like this to live as well and to exist as well. I don't know when they stop supporting it with DLC and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, these are the kind of things we're gonna see happen more and more as kind of time progresses, right? Like with these licensed songs and materials used and stuff.
But yeah, to confirm, the last DLC of the Rock Band 4 era was released January 2004.
Sorry, 2004?
Sorry, 2024. 2024.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, this is... Matt, does it give you a tummy ache to know that this is technically an 18-year-old series at this point?
Oh, I didn't actually consider that. That's, oh man. I don't like it when games get older than when I played them. Or the age I was when I played them.
Fair. Yeah.
And guys, I still remember when, like, the original Rock Bands were things we needed to stock in our GameStop stores we worked at, and it was a massive headache to figure out where to put them. And just how nice it felt to be fully sold out of them because of how much space you freed up because of it.
Where, we've long documented on the Mistake Zone on Saturday Morning Arcade our kind of adventures trying to purchase Rock Band for the first time. But Rakush, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, you were working at, in the GameStop, EB Games ecosystem at that point. What were some of your kind of early memories with kind of the music rhythm game genre, that boom, and kind of the inventory you had to manage at that point?
Yeah. So a little fun story for those who, well, for you guys as well. I don't think I've ever actually shared this story before, but one of the main reasons I even got the job at GameStop is because when the Wii came out, I had pre-ordered Guitar Hero 3 from that GameStop. So when I went to pick it up is when I found out that they were hiring. And then like 2 weeks later had the interview and stuff like that as well. So like that was around the time then after that Rock Band came out. And then like Guitar Hero also went like the band route for a little bit, if I remember correctly as well. Yeah. Then DJ Hero was like another thing as well. That was a fun one. I still have the bag from that. But I think like as a person that admittedly did not play outside of the Guitar Hero sort of single player experiences, did not really play a lot of Rock Band or any of the multiplayer stuff. I think my only recollections and memories of these games comes from kind of working retail and selling them. And yeah, I definitely think like, you know, I mean, these stories still come back vividly, right? Of like, oh God, we sold these out, we probably got some space. But then also sometimes it's like, we would get stock of like the 360 Guitar Hero, which like nobody wanted to buy or something. I can't remember if it was 360 to be fair, but like there was like one console, one that like nobody wanted to buy. And so we just have a ton of those. And we're like, we don't need any more of these, but we'd still get more. And then, yeah, like those are the kind of headaches back in the day we used to have to deal with. But as far as like just kind of working and selling those games in that period, yeah, it was like one of the most popular things ever.
And end of an era, boys. And I don't know, Matt, maybe we'll dust the instruments off and get the band together one more time, just to say farewell to this beloved franchise that has has a specific place inside our friendship. But kind of as mentioned, I just thought it was weird that Harmonix came out. Everyone was reporting that, hey, in 5 days or so, this game's going to be delisted. And I don't know, just having that short turnaround time really kind of hammered home that, wow, the rhythm game genre, at least in the console space, it used to be this big juggernaut, and then all of a sudden it's reduced to, hey, this is going to be delisted soon. And while we do talk about games with specific licenses being delisted, it never really occurred to me that it would happen to Rock Band as well. And I don't know, just to see it kind of go out like that. And of course, being on the different communities and the subreddits and people saying, hey, I was meaning to buy it right on the 5th, but it was delisted kind of a few hours beforehand. Or the fact that, hey, now that the game is delisted and it isn't really reaching any servers, I'm having issues playing it unless I'm on offline mode. So I think once I do get that CRKD or that cracked Rock Band controller, I'll have one more kind of check-in regarding it. But I don't know. Pour one out for Rock Band 4 and keep an eye out if you're still a player just to see what DLC will be delisted in the upcoming weeks. But boys, as we know, Harmonix is now part of Epic Games. They're making the Fortnite festival experiences. I believe they had a hand in creating the Daft Punk experience, which happened just last week as well. But when it comes to Fortnite, boys, did you know that now your Game Pass Ultimate subscription includes Fortnite Crew? Matt? Doesn't Game Pass just keep getting better?
Yo.
Now with the inclusion of Fortnite Crew.
I can't think of a better deal in gaming right now than Game Pass, Jaren.
Matt, can I sweeten that deal for you?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Ubisoft Plus Classics also added Game Pass Ultimate for your gaming pleasure.
Oh, man.
Just keeps getting better. And don't forget, members also get enhanced Xbox Cloud gaming streaming quality up to 1440p. Rakush, how sold are you on Game Pass right now?
I mean, considering I deactivated it like a month and a half ago.
Boys, all these new features, of course, come with a price because, of course, Game Pass price increases were announced. and we're looking at $30 USD for a month of Ultimate. And I don't want to think about what that means for us here in Canada right now.
Probably 40 a month then, right?
I should look that up.
That's about right.
$40 a month.
Boys,
$42 Canadian, basically.
oof. So we're looking at new plan names and pricing. We have Xbox Game Pass Essential, formerly Core, which I guess was also formerly Xbox Live Gold. Yesteryear, that is now $10 USD a month with no price change. Xbox Game Pass Premium, formerly Standard, $15 a month, no price change. But here's where it gets into it. We have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, $30 a month, formerly $20 a month, so a 50% increase. And for us PC Game Pass boys, $16.50 USD a month, formerly $12. And of course, as I said, a lot of new features, a lot of new additional services and perks, trying to add that to justify the 50% increase. But kind of given everything happening at Microsoft, and how kind of the attitudes towards the Xbox branding in general. Rakush, you just said you canceled your Xbox Game Pass previously, but when you see a 50% increase like that, regardless of them adding Fortnite Crew, regardless of them adding the Ubisoft Plus Classics, does this do... Okay, wrong question. Is this further pushing you away from the service? And do you ever see yourself even thinking about subscribing in the near future?
I mean, $20 a month Canadian for the PC Game Pass version, which is what I had, right? Like previously, the 15 or $16 Canadian, that going up to around $20 a month. Why? Like, I don't play a lot of games in general, let alone on PC, just in general. Like this year, how many new games have I played? Maybe 3, maybe 4. So like, if we're talking from that perspective, like, no, this is further pushing me away for sure. But then if someone is in the same boat as I am, maybe plays a little bit more, right? Like maybe plays like one new game a month. Maybe it's worth it if all of that is on the Game Pass itself. But considering like just, yeah, like where else the Microsoft games are available now as well, like to me, it does not seem, I don't know, like it doesn't seem like a great deal. I know like they've put out some messaging to justify it with all the new things that they were offering and stuff. But I think in general, folks of our age, I guess, as well, are like, where are we finding the time to play enough games to justify this price, right? And like, that's kind of where I'm struggling with this decision. And I don't fully understand like the long-term benefits of this decision from a business standpoint.
Just a quick correction for us here in Canada. Essential is $13.99 a month, up from $11.99. Premium is $17.99 a month, up from $16.99. And of course, Ultimate is now $33.99, up from $22.99. Matt,
and what's the PC one? Sorry.
I don't have that here. I'll look that up, but oh no, here it is. Xbox also confirmed that PC Game Pass has gone up to $19.99 a month, up from $14.99 a month.
25% price increase.
Where, Matt, as someone who has heard me champion Xbox Game Pass in a brighter timeline, how are you reacting to the price increases this week?
I mean, I fully understand why people are like really, really pissed at it, and things going up in price that I used to use, and that I still kind of want to use in the future is always a bummer. But yeah, it's way less likely that I'm gonna go in on it again. I think I've always been the type that activates Game Pass just for like a month to play some games that were in that within the service that I hadn't already played. And I think that I will probably continue to do that, but I'm going to be letting that amount of games build up between
Right.
monthly activations.
Especially when you have some time to yourself that you can actually play through some of these games. Because kind of as Rakush put it, at least for me, where I feel like in theory, I would have been in that, smaller portion of audience, I'm assuming, of, hey, even though I don't subscribe to Fortnite Crew, on the regular, maybe if there's a good month and I'm able to stack it so I unlock a bunch of different passes, maybe I'll get Fortnite Crew for the month. And if you were one of those users that are part of Fortnite Crew and had Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I guess you're technically saving money now. But again, how many people does that really influence? And I don't know. I feel like just given how much Microsoft and even the Xbox game is just being dragged through the mud right now, just when it comes to decisions like this, just when it comes to their offering, all this talk about not having any, still trying to identify plans for the future of the Xbox console brand and hardware in general. I don't know. We talk about being priced out, but this is also one of those instances where now that I know the loopholes of getting Game Pass Core or like Xbox Live Gold and then converting that to Ultimate have pretty much fizzled out on this point. Coupled in with the fact you can't use Bing rewards to really redeem for Ultimate. And then even then you have some mixed messaging of, your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate won't get you discounts on certain DLCs, won't get you discounts for Call of Duty anymore moving forward. Where I think regardless of all the new things they're adding, the value proposition just doesn't make sense for someone in my kind of situation. And maybe they're banking on that, or maybe it's the fact that, hey, with the future of the Xbox brand so uncertain right now, if we do have this core audience, maybe let's try to get as much as we can from them and then see where this goes from here. Because boys, I'm assuming AI research from Microsoft as a whole isn't cheap, and that money has to come from somewhere. And I guess maybe the mentality is maybe Xbox needs to start bringing in some money, but just weird times when it comes to kind of this hobby of ours. And maybe, I don't know, not is this the turn where we go back to fully anime mistake zone? Only time will tell. But Matt, now that we've kind of got the gaming news out of the way real quick, what have you been up to lately, man?
Jaren, I
Yes.
have been in a money spiral this week.
Oof. Matt, is Wallet-Kun okay?
Wallet-Kun took a hit already, and I think he's going to be continuing to take hits for the next little while.
Okay.
Jaren, you missed the chance to ask Wallet-Kun Genki desu ka?
No, I didn't, Rakush. No, I didn't.
Missed chance. Missed chance.
But Matt, since Nikkei is collabing with Resident Evil right now, gotta ask, hey Matt, what you buying?
Oh, man. Jaren, I don't, okay, this isn't an accident. I pre-ordered something that I completely forgot that I pre-ordered. And then all of a sudden, I got like a credit card notification saying, hey, you've just spent like $80 on Amazon.
Okay.
And I was like, oh no, is my credit card compromised? And I went to look up what it was, and it turns out that the Lego Game Boy shipped to me.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. Matt, I've been seeing people not only unbox this, but build this. That looks like a heck of a Lego set. Matt, have you built your Game Boy yet?
No, I haven't built it yet. It's kind of just sitting here because it's been. I just got it like 2 days ago, and I haven't broken into it yet because
Fair.
guys, I have also been contemplating on buying another thing that I am pretty sure I'm not going to use, but I would just really like to have. Because I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I think you both have it already, but the 30th anniversary PlayStation 5 controller of the the classic one that PlayStation 1 look they've done a new, I guess, a new batch of them.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of back in stock right now, and I'm deeply considering buying it, even though, don't have a PS5, and I would probably barely use it on my PC.
Matt, but what if Astrobot comes out on the PC sometime? You'd be ready. You'd be ready, in theory. I don't know
I'd be ready.
I don't know how the DualSense works with PC yet.
Yeah, okay, I was looking into that. I'm really surprised that there isn't really official or good official support for the DualSense on the PC, but I guess maybe that's a Microsoft related thing that seems like, I don't know, why does it matter for a PC, but that's how it would be. But guys, I told you last week that my sister had gotten married, and there was like a whole reception for that and everything. And guys, there was someone sick at that wedding.
Okay.
And basically, I've been sick this whole week, and as a part of being sick this whole week, guys, I gotta get the vitamin C in. I gotta down some orange juice, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I spilled orange juice all over my keyboard.
Oh no.
This orange juice had pulp. It was like, just like...
Oh, no.
it was like it was a real orange juice. And my keyboard is not doing good, guys. I cleaned it out, everything. But this is a kind of older mechanical keyboard. Like, the switches and stuff are soldered in. So, taking it apart is actually a real pain in the ass. And I have fallen down the custom keyboard.
Of course.
Well.
Of course.
And right now, you guys, I'm looking about approximately $150 Alibaba purchase in the cart right now.
Question for you. If you get that off of... forgive me for sounding as condescending here. If you get that off of a legitimate website, what is the price?
It's about like 2 something. Like after everything, it'll be like, around 2 something. If I got it from like all these separate places, yeah.
Yo, bro, I'm just saying, I don't know what the tariff situation is. That 150 could turn into that 200 whatever real quick.
But I don't know. Okay. Here's the other issue: is that it is like a base 150. I have been looking at a bunch of like, if I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna go in hard. And I've been looking at a bunch of like keycaps and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I like there's a space bar that looks like an old NES controller. There's a 3 set of like keycaps that replaces any 3 in a row, but it's just to put it where like print screen, scroll lock, and pause are, and it's like the bust of a Gundam, and the LEDs come through and it lights up. And Jaren, there's a Bamboo one. I've been looking at some Pokemon keycaps.
Of course.
Oh man,
there's a Bamboo one. Sorry,
a Bamboo. It's like this mascot character from Zenless Zone Zero.
Okay. But is it a panda?
No, it's like a robot rabbit, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
What a weird name.
You're making me feel some ways right now, just because I'm still rocking my old Poker 2 with keycaps that are inspired by Overwatch's Diva. And let's face it, boys, haven't played Overwatch in probably since we last recorded that Overwatch episode way back when, Matt, where this keyboard could be more Miku inspired than Diva inspired, or the new hotness. It could be Huntrix inspired instead of Diva. Man. So,
yo, bro, you could get one where the numbers 1 to 10 are just the Avies of the Uma Musume characters.
Oh,
fair. But Matt,
it wouldn't say the numbers themselves. You just need to know what the numbers are.
You'll know what they are in your heart. You've been a hardcore PC gamer long enough.
Yeah, it's like your way of actually tiering the horse girls.
Where Matt, when you said that you were sick and you were, your wallet wasn't safe, I thought you were going to say that, I need some vitamin C, so I bought myself a cast iron juicer. And then that, if you said you bought a cast iron juicer, I would have left this call, and I too would have bought a cast iron juicer, because boys,
you watched that video, eh?
My TikTok algorithm right now is Silent Hill F cosplay and cast iron juicers, and boys, do I want me to juice right now?
I love that your TikTok isn't actual footage of Silent Hill F. It's just the cosplayers for Silent Hill F.
Hey man, depends what you let play. Depends what you let play, because I'm not trying to get any spoilers here, Rakush.
Fair. My fault.
Boys, I love how just moments before I was lamenting the fact that I'm getting priced out of video games, but I'm here sitting saying I want me a cast iron juicer. Because
Yo, bro, they're pricing you into juicing your own juice.
How much is a cast iron juicer? Have you looked this up? Have you fallen that deep yet, Jaren?
No, because I know if... Like, I can look it up on Amazon right now, but I want the one specifically being used on my TikTok algo, and that's where I'm scared. Because what if I am really priced out of this hobby, this would-be hobby as well?
Jaren, was the video you saw the one where the guy juiced, like, pineapple juice from, like, one pineapple, and he basically filled up an entire bottle with $2, whereas if you bought essentially the exact same thing in stores, it's $9?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're talking about content creator, I believe Jordan the Stallion, and afterwards he flings his glasses across the room.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a great content creator. Shout out to him.
Save.
I like, boys. I'm a child. I like when he flings his glasses across the room. As someone who needs his glasses to see, there's something thrilling about that. Rakush?
Yes.
There has to be something on your wish list.
My Amazon wish list?
So just in general, now that we're talking about spending money, Rakush, now that we're priced out of video games, where's your video game money going to right now?
So this weekend, I actually went and bought, like, it's like a steak tong. I don't know how, like, there's no real, like, name for it that I found, but it's, like, one of those, like, thinner tongs that you use specifically to, like, grill up, like, meats on, like, stainless steel pans and grills and stuff like that. So I bought that specifically because what I've been doing lately with, like, when I cook is I give everything a little bit of a char on, like, both sides before I add it into, like, curries and gravies and what have you, right? So it's a little bit difficult to do that with, like, just, like, a spatula or stuff like that. So I just wanted to get, like, a tong to have better control over the char. So $10, that's where my money is going.
Fair. That sounds real fair, Rakush. And I know Matt was under the weather. Rakush came by, checked out the new pad. We got bubble tea. Man, I really missed that. So we went to this, this chain, Coco, and they ran out of their big $8 giant cups.
Right.
And then we just bought our $5, or at least we did, bought the monthly special. Rakush, that cup was too small for me after I've had the big gulp equivalent.
Jared, you know what was funny about that?
What's up?
I didn't say that when we were hanging out because it was like you, me, and your partner as well, right? And like, I don't want to say it, but like the disappointment in finding out that the deal was not happening was kind of like noticeable. And I just found that kind of adorable from you two.
Boys, once you had big gulp, it's not good for your health, but now that value proposition is no longer there, what's the point of going to Coco? Sorry, Coco, for disparaging your establishment.
Yeah. They didn't even... That location was a bizarre one, though, because they didn't even have, like, the same monthly special that's going on in the one across from my building, for example. So, like, yeah.
Matt, when's the last time you had bubble tea?
Ooh, like real, like from a real place, or like, you know, the ones that are just like packaged that are powder and I can just make it at home.
Real place.
I don't know. I feel like I probably 2 months ago, maybe. I feel like the last time I had bubble tea, Rakush was there.
Okay. I guess Rakush is the bubble tea arbiter for our Mistake Zone Club, but
that's crazy,
boys. I feel like we're getting a bit off the rails, so to kind of bring it back real quick. I know I'm being priced out of video games. Steam sale going on right now. Gotta ask, did you buy anything this time around?
Yeah, you know, I was editing the last episode and I got bored, so I bought Is This Seat Taken? Because that seemed like a game I could play while I was editing the podcast.
Matt, that's definitely something that's been on my wish list. Where how are you finding Is This Seat Taken?
It's good. You know, it's a nice little like brain scratcher. It's not very difficult. It's very lightweight. I can, you know, pop in and out of it very easily. It is honestly exactly what I was looking for a light puzzle game, and, you know, a thing where I can manipulate these dumb little shapes into into the seats that they want to go into.
Fair. Definitely something I want to check out. But I know last week when I was talking about Silent Hill F, another game fully came out of early access, hit that 1.0. And of course, that is Hades 2. And I know last year when it first hit early access, I kind of raved about it. I played 16 hours in total. I was able to beat the final boss at the time. I'm not sure how much has changed since then, at least twice. And I kind of put it down, wanted to wait for the early or 1.0 release coming out of early access. And boys, the last time I played Hades 2 was June 2024. It is now October 2025. And it was kind of jarring picking it back up and still having my save apply. And as someone who, again, finished 2 runs, had all these different things I was working on towards, last year. And for you to kind of be put back into that situation and know nothing that's going on, remembering all the controls, not knowing all the different mechanics. It's one of those bittersweet, thought processes that I had this week of, should I just restart this game as a whole just so I can get my bearings? Because I don't know what this says about me in particular as someone who played Hades 2 for 16 hours before putting it down. And it's been another life since I played Hades 1. I kept going back to my Hades 1 playstyle of, really dash oriented, a lot of, in and outs. And I'm not sure if you remember, Matt, last year when I talked about Hades 2, Mel doesn't play it like that. It's a lot more, it wants you to, at least with the casting, to really slow it down, no more dash chains. And for me to kind of grown accustomed to that in my playtime last year, and then all of a sudden revert to the previous game's play style and just forget everything, that was also jarring to me. But I guess my question to you, Matt, is, I know I kind of mentioned this when we talked about Danganronpa 2x2 last week, but for a game, if you put it down, what do you think, whether it be kind of time since you played or, what makes you want to fully reset a game if you ever go back to it? Or are you the type of person to kind of just, power through it, adapt, and try to get accustomed to that place you left off in?
Yeah, I don't reset games when I go back to them. The only time I would reset a game was if I just don't have access to the previous save.
Right.
Because Jaren, I already don't replay games. I'll just power through. This is my own fault. I'll solve it with my own effort and get back to how good or I guess bad I was at that game when I stopped playing it before.
Right. Rakush, same question. If you were to put down a game and then go back to it sometime later, are you the type of person to just continue where you left off or reset from the beginning just so you can get everything fresh?
I think it depends on how much later. Because my console might have literally changed at that point. So, Red Dead 2, I've had to start it over 3 times, right? So, that would be a different situation versus, if you ask me, say, I haven't played Silksong in 2 weeks. If I go another 2 weeks, I'm still going to play the same save because I'm not going through all that headache again. So, yeah, I guess it's kind of game-by-game basis.
Fair. And I guess for me, it's that whole, it's been over a year and this game, still feels great. So that's what I'm debating right now. I've also been playing on my Steam Deck, runs well, but I don't know what it is where, boys, as people who have owned Switches, the reason I also the one question I wanted to ask you guys is, for games like a Hades and games like, more recently for me, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, even though they might play well on the Steam Deck, I feel like there's just something about playing those games handheld that makes me perform a lot worse. Where for something like something, as the kids say, that I need to lock in. I feel like I need an actual controller, where the Steam Deck is nice for something that might be turn-based, something casual, maybe a puzzle game. But for something that requires, I don't know, actual dexterity or specific inputs, I feel like my performance just tanks if I'm using the Steam Deck proper. And even in many regards, the Switch in handheld mode, where anything really intensive I would kind of avoid in handheld mode, where I don't know, Matt, when it comes to kind of gaming on handhelds, is that an issue you face, or are you just kind of okay regardless of the controller?
No, I'm about the same as you. I can't really lock in on a on like a handheld device. It feels, I can't. Jaren, maybe okay. Rakush, I want to know: are you able to lock in on like a handheld device by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Played Hollow Knight on the Switch handheld mostly.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Jaren, do you think it's because we have bad eyes and we need just a big screen to really like see what we're doing?
No, because when I played Tony Hawk, I plugged in my controller just so I would be able to play on the controller, and I was able to play. I think it's just there's just something about handheld controls that feels weird to me, and maybe that's just because of how the Xbox controls are, and even in turn the Switch Joy-Cons on their own.
Oh yeah, the Switch Joy-Cons are just kind of like not great to be honest. Like that especially, yeah.
But the bigger screen helps, but I don't know. I think there's just something about having a good, sturdy controller that I need to perform at my best. Maybe that's just me. Matt, is it a screen thing, or what are you feeling, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I guess when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about it on the Switch, because that is my, I guess, most recent mobile gaming experience. Yeah. And kind of using the Joy-Cons is kind of not great for locking in. Like, it's fine if I'm just gonna, run around my Animal Crossing island, but if I gotta go save Zelda, I need a real controller at least.
Yeah. We're, again, going back to Hades 2 on my Steam Deck, and fighting the major bosses, their attack patterns, like they haven't changed that dramatically, but I don't know, it just I found myself not being able to kind of react in time using the actual Steam Deck itself. But the moment I went back to using a controller, it was starting to come back to me. So I don't know what it is about handhelds in particular that I just don't really vibe with. But boys, maybe that's just me being dramatic when it comes to video games. But Rakush, you have a segment that we explore, every now and then, when time allows, but we haven't been dramatic with you recently, Rakush. So, Rakush, what have you, or I guess asking you what you've been watching doesn't really apply here, but Rakush,
no, for sure, but
take it away.
Yeah. Be dramatic. It is a segment that, as of right now, we're going to do it when, let's be honest, I've not played any games or don't really have much else to bring to the episode. So I think we're going to just keep on using it from that perspective. The idea is I have a list of currently 25 Korean drama shows and Japanese drama shows. And I get Matt or you to pick a random number, and basically I talk about that show for a little bit, talk about what makes it great, what makes it bad, whatever makes it what it is, basically. This list is ever growing. I currently have 3 that I have a couple of episodes to finish up on. So this 25 could end up being 28 very soon. But for this week, Matt, why don't you pick a number?
All right. Rakush, I want you to tell me about drama number 6.
Drama number 6. Okay, this is actually an interesting one and a fun one. And anyone who is, I would say, remotely familiar with Korean variety shows will find this one to be an interesting pick. And this is a Killer Shopping List, which I watched on Prime Video. The Killer Shopping List is a 2022 series. I'm going to as with the previous episodes, read out the description from my drama list. Just kind of explain in detail, in their own words, what the show is about. And butcher the names as well, of course, because come on, let's be honest. I'm terrible at this. Mm-hmm. Of course. On Daesung, and this is why I said it right off the bat, On Daesung, despite his excellent memory, has failed the civil service exam 3 years in a row, but remains determined to pass with the support of his mother, Myung-suk, and girlfriend, Ah-hee. While working at his mother's convenience store, Daesung's life changes when a nearby murder occurs. Ah-hee, police officer, investigates the case on her own and discovers a receipt from Myung-suk's store at the crime scene, pulling them both into the investigation. With no leads, the trio is determined to solve the case, but how can they catch a killer when the professionals are stumped? It is adapted from a novel written by Kang Ji-young, also of the same name, The Killer's Shopping List. I really enjoyed this series. The main character, On Daesung, is played by Running Man alumni, Lee Kwang-soo.
Hey.
Matt, I don't know how familiar with Running Man, but...
Of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lee Kwang-soo, I would say, kind of typically filled the role of being the butt of the joke, every show that I've seen him on. There's another show on Disney Plus that I don't have on this list. It's a variety show called The Zone. He appeared for the first 2 seasons. And yeah, like, really, really funny person. He recently, in the last couple of years, quit Running Man to focus a little bit more on his acting career and take on a couple of more, not fully serious roles, but like, yeah, just kind of like, more than being the butt of the joke, I guess, right? Like, that's what he was kind of trying to become. And I'll be honest, if there are more shows like this that he does, I think he's made the right decision, because in general, I think the show had a really good mix of the comedic moments with the serious moments, and it knew when it needed to be one or the other, I think was kind of what was the most important part about that entire plot and the entire story. He is still a little bit of the butt of the jokes here, but I think it's kind of balanced out in a way where it's like, here's the things that we all know he can do, and then there are moments where he does things that are more than that. And I think that's why it's a really good sort of like example of what he is, what his potential is. Mentioned it already. Really funny show. The supporting cast is super endearing as well. Didn't feel like a single side character was wasted. I think it was just like they plugged in all the gaps nicely with these characters, especially when it came to kind of like progressing the plot as well. I think they did a really good job there. And yeah, again, ultimately, like, once it got to the point where it's in the series name, the shopping list or Killer Shopping List, it is a murder mystery. It is a little bit of a, thriller, like a drama of sorts there as well. It has to get serious at some point. And when that happens, even all these funny, endearing characters don't lose what makes them great characters, while also not just being funny at all points either. Now, typically I try not to talk about spoilers with these shows. One thing I did want to talk about with this series is the later parts of the season deal with, I would call, some sensitive subject. I don't want to reveal it because, again, it's major spoilers and kind of gives away the whole story. If you want to read up on it, absolutely read up on it. But it's just one of those things where I wouldn't necessarily want anybody to go in blind to watch that. But I think, again, it's just kind of handled... it's handled okay. I'm not going to say they handled it spectacularly or anything like that. But I don't think it's insensitive how they handle it. Couple of complaints, minor ones. Pretty obvious who the culprit is to me personally. But I don't think this is a series that was necessarily trying to hide it. I think it was more about the journey and less the destination. And in that way, I think it really succeeds. The pacing is really good overall as well, which really helps out a lot with the fact that, like, a lot of obvious things happen in the series. But yeah. And slightly contradicting what I said about endearing characters, there's some characters that by the end of it did feel a little bit dumbed down for the sake of advancing the plot points. And in some ways, I get why, because you have to advance the plot. But it was definitely something, as I was watching it in the moment, I was kind of like, I don't know, like this character, just earlier episodes, they seemed like a really interesting person, a more complex person. And I guess the better way of framing this last point is maybe there just wasn't enough time in the show to maintain that character depth in some scenes. But I do think inherently the characters were ultimately all just really well handled. So yeah, Killer Shopping List. It is available on Prime Video. Matt, I guess I'll kind of throw it to you here because you are familiar with Lee Kwang-soo. So what do you envision? Like, I guess, like, you know, just kind of like opening the conversation up to you guys a little bit, as I always try to do with this, is just sort of like, what is it that you would want to see with shows that this guy stars in, right? Because I do know, like, his personal decision was to kind of leave to expand his acting career, but as like personally as a fan, when he made that decision, it was kind of like, yeah, Running Man's not the same. Like, you know, I haven't been watching it for a very long time, but it's very obvious that like that show is missing his presence. Even with like The Zone, like the season 3 was a fun season, but kind of missed this guy a little bit as well. So like, kind of just wanted to ask you about that, right? Like, what is it that in your experience watching shows with this guy in it that you would want him to focus on more?
I mean, I think for me, I'm very biased in that sense, right? Because a lot of the stuff that I have seen of his have always been variety shows or comedy shows. And that is because, you know, I don't really like seek out too much drama, but I always did find it, not weird, but like a strange thing for him to like, be on Running Man initially when he first debuted, because for the most part, you know, actors usually don't do variety type thing because, you know, they need to maintain an image. But, you know, for him, it like worked out. Obviously, it worked out like great for him. And I know that while he was doing his stuff on, what's that thing called? On Running Man, he was still doing dramatic roles and comedy roles at the same time, which, like, from what I hear, he is like a very versatile actor. I think, you know, I really wanted to watch more of his stuff. I think really the only thing that really stood out to me as in particular for watching is the one where he's like a fish man. I don't know if you watched that or not.
The one where he's a fish man?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna look this up right now.
Okay, yeah, I can't remember the name of this, it was a movie where, he's like he's acting as a fish dude. And I really also wanted to watch it because there was a couple other, people in it that I also recognized. But... Is
it called Collective Invention? Like, he's literally got like a fish body.
Yes, he has like a fish head on, yes. I think that's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That sounds like this
but
one.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently that debuted at TIFF in 2015.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it there.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, man. But yeah.
But yeah, I think if you enjoy sort of like, you know, just if you enjoy the things that made his role on Running Man so iconic and endearing, I think you will enjoy a Killer Shopping List.
Okay.
I think it's also honestly a pretty easy watch personally, like as far as time commitment is concerned. It is still like 40-50 minute episodes, 10 episodes total for the entire series. But it's one of those shows that's like one season and it's kind of done. And even if they do like a second season or whatever, I think it will be standalone enough that you can finish this, not watch anything else that comes after this. And I think you'll be pretty satisfied as well. Jaren, I guess kind of throwing it to you, like, does this sound like a kind of show that you would be interested in checking out?
I think the one aspect you brought up is the fact that this seems to be kind of a different direction than, as you noted, the lead actors kind of, or at least you're used to seeing the lead actor. And I guess this is my question that I wanted to kind of ask both of you guys in the situation of what interests you more? An actor or actress that's more so known to be serious doing lighter comedic roles, or an actor or actress that's more comedic doing kind of more serious dramatic roles, where if that's kind of something being presented, or something an actor is exploring, something out of their wheelhouse, does that make you want to check it out more, or is that something you never really think about? And I guess, Rakush, kind of how do you approach when an actor does something like that, and do you have a preference?
Yeah. I'm gonna compare this to Kanye, which I know 2025 problematic, but I think like I always kind of go back to Kanye whenever it comes to like an actor or an artist specifically that is shifting styles, shifting genres, shifting mediums even, just because I think I respect when artists really take those chances, right? Like, don't just box yourself in, don't typecast yourself into this one character for your entire life sort of thing. And from that perspective, I do absolutely respect it and understand it. But I bring up Kanye West because that was one of my first experiences of being like, maybe Kanye's music is no longer for me, because I'm one of those people that champions a lot of his backpack rap days, right? And objectively, I think, like, Jaren, you might be able to speak to this, but like, I feel like people always say My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is his best album ever. Hot take, I don't think so, but that's because of what I experienced with his music, with like, Graduation and College Dropout and, things like that, right? So I think that's one part of this. But then the other part of this that does add to how I perceive these decisions is if an artist is making the switch with disdain. And over time, it became very obvious to me that Kanye made that switch. And over time, he's kind of revealed in multiple interviews as well, like, he was just simply not a fan of his early sound, which of course sucks as someone that holds those albums like kind of near and dear, right? And so like that really sucked. So if an artist is trying something new out, that's absolutely like, their prerogative, and I support it. But there is also a part of me that does hope that the artists aren't doing it as like, in like basically in spite of like their earlier work, or like, the work that made them popular in the first place. For what it's worth, I don't think Lee Kwang-soo's decision to go and do more dramas is in spite of his comedic career. I think he did that for so long that like he's kind of done everything he could with that style. So I think that's kind of where he is. But even then, like, the dramas that he's popping up in, like, he's still doing comedic dramas. There's another one that I don't have on the list yet. He's a side character in that. Haven't finished it yet, but it's a comedy. So it's not like he's fully out of the genre either. So I think like him trying out new stuff, he's trying it because he wants to challenge himself while also appreciating what's made him popular in the first place. And that's a long-winded answer. I hope that answered what you're looking for, Jaren, but yeah.
No, I can see kind of where you're coming from in that regard, but Matt, similar question. When an actor switches their lanes kind of like that, is that something you pay more attention to, or something that you don't really, that kind of just doesn't clock with you at all?
I mean, personally for me, it depends a lot more on me being a fan of the actor or actress in particular. Because if it was just like, I hear like whatever famous actor is, trying a new drama role or a new comedy role, that's not really something I would care about, I guess. But, if all of a sudden, I don't know, you see Jackie Chan like wants to do a Shakespeare movie, I'm going to watch the hell out of that. No matter like how good or bad that ends up being. But, yeah, I mean, like the more attached I am to it, the more I think that just generates a lot of interest in me seeing how they're going to do that role, or how they're going to be different.
Right.
But I feel like I also need to know going in that it is a shift. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
The difference in, Jackie Chan's doing Shakespeare, hearing about that beforehand and going in, versus going in to see a Jackie Chan movie and he's doing Shakespeare is like two totally different, hits, I guess.
I guess it's like the Will Smith thing, right? Like where he went from Fresh Prince and Independence Day to doing like Ali, which was like his big Oscar nod, I guess. Like, yeah, sometimes you just kind of need it a little bit more choreographed that like the shift is happening.
That makes sense. And yeah, I think for me, I do like when an actor switches up lanes, just because, again, it's what I'm so used to them seeing, and being able to see a different side of them, especially if it's executed well, I just always appreciate that. Just because, again, it's just outside the norm. And I find myself always trying to seek those out more so than, say if this comedic actor releases another comedy, I think that's cool. If the trailers show well, maybe I'll check it out. But if they're doing a lane switch, that's something I'll pay more attention to, especially if the reviews are good, just because it's outside of the norm. I want to see this person do something that I'm not used to. And I think that's how I approached it more so, where I just want to see something different at that point. But yeah, Rakush, any closing thoughts on a killer shopping list?
Yeah, I mean, available on Prime Video. I think it's a highly entertaining series. Entertaining sometimes will mask quality things, but I don't even think there's a lot of quality issues to mask here, if any, personally. I think it is a quick watch. I think the commitment itself is low, so that's why I'm very comfortable recommending this show to anybody that is even remotely interested in what we just talked about. So that is a killer shopping list on Prime Video.
All right. From one semi-reoccurring segment to the actual reoccurring segment, boys. It's that time of week again. Before we say goodbye to all our friends out there, we have to challenge them to the Don't Match Me challenge. And up to bat this week is Rakush. Hey, Rakush, what challenges do you have for us this week?
So, Jaren, this is Don't Match Me. It's our weekly segment, the main event, like you said. Each week, the person responsible for hosting asks 5 questions. And you guys, the other parts of the show, try not to match. If you're listening along, you don't want to match the person asking the questions. The hard mode, you don't want to match with any of the folks on the actual show itself. I'm going to try to paraphrase what Jaren says with this next part. It is a podcast. You can pause it in case you're not quite certain what the answer needs to be, or you don't know what options you have to answer a question. So you can pause, come back, and then see if you matched us. Guys, we just talked about a shopping list or a killer shopping list. You know what else requires a shopping list? It's cooking. And I mentioned earlier that I am looking for new things to cook. Today, I actually made some Indian curry. Just some Indian curry rice, basically, And so I was thinking, what do I make this week's Don't Match Me on? And it's curries and gravies, specifically the Indian style. So guys, I know I'm a big fan of spicy food. Jaren, Matt, I don't know how you guys are with spicy food, but I think the first question that I'm going to ask, pretty straightforward question. I don't know if it's going to require a lot of research. Guys, just name a spice that is commonly used in Indian cooking that could go on a shopping list.
Okay. It doesn't have to be a spicy thing, just a spice, right?
A spice that is commonly used in Indian cooking.
Right.
Yes. All right. So naming a spice commonly used in Indian cooking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm actually going with turmeric. Mainly because I love the color that turmeric typically gives the curries that I cook. It feels like a really crucial part of the entire process. Jaren, what do you got?
When I think of spices, the first thing I typically think of for some reason is cumin.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Damn, I matched with Jaren on this one.
Hey.
Wow. All the spices that are available in that country.
Yeah, I think.
And you both went with cumin.
Yeah, cumin is, I think, just the first one that I really think of as like, oh, okay, I need to like, I'm making an Indian dish. Like, oh, yeah, okay, I have cumin here. Like, that's, I don't know. That's just one of the few that I'm like, okay, cool, cumin.
Yeah. I feel like there's a few others worth naming. Like, you can go with cardamom, you can go with garam masala, which is a combination of a bunch of different things. Dhanajira, like, Dhanajira is basically like a little bit of cumin as well. So, like, ground, like, coriander, like, yeah, there's so many different spices, man. Red chili powder, of course, the most important one. And even there's like 10 different kinds of red chili powders. It's great. Guys, I love Indian food. I love it so much that I don't have a favorite Indian curry or gravy dish, which leads me to question number 2. Guys, I just want you to name an Indian curry or gravy. Naming an Indian curry or gravy in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm actually going to go with chicken korma. Korma is one of my favorite curries or gravies because of just how, like, naturally oily the spices make it. So chicken korma is the one I went with. Jaren, what do you got for us?
Honestly, when I just think of kind of curries in general, Rakush, maybe you need to enlighten me as someone who might be, let's just say, ignorant when it comes to specific cuisines. For some reason, I thought of butter masala. Is butter masala an actual one, or am I mixing two things together?
You're mixing two things together that I'm familiar with. So there's butter chicken, and then there's chicken tikka masala.
So let's go with... So of the things that I just fused together, like me and Matt's answer way back in the beginning, let's just go with masala then.
Sure, chicken tikka masala it is. And Jaren, you're in the right city now. Next time you don't go get Indian food, let me know. I know exactly where to take you. Matt, what do you got?
Okay, I wasn't sure about this. Is a like a lamb vindaloo a type of curry, or is that just like a whole different type of dish?
The vindaloo itself is like a curry. Okay. So, yeah, you can definitely go with lamb vindaloo.
Okay.
Man, lamb in any Indian curries, so clutch. Yeah. Like, when you render all that fat into the curry itself and everything, man.
I think that's like one of my favorite things about Indian food is that just like it so often has lamb in it that I feel like doesn't really show up in a particularly high amount of other cuisines.
Yeah, one of the main reasons for that is cow, of course, is a religious idol. And so, like, you know, there's no cooking with cows. And then pork is just generally not really used in Indian cooking. It's not fully ignored or anything like that. But yeah, just generally, it's not something that appears a lot. So you get a lot of dishes with mutton or lamb.
Yes.
And you get a lot of dishes with chicken. Those are kind of like your two main meats that are used in India itself. So, yeah. And also just sort of like accessibility, right? Like you're not spending $30 for a rack of lamb in India. Like it's still pricey, but not $30 pricey, basically. So, yeah. Guys, you've ordered the curry. You've ordered the lamb vindaloo, Matt. You need a carb that goes with it. And you're thinking, I'm going to get myself a naan or a paratha. What name a type of naan that you could find on the menu that you would place an order for? This one you might want to just quickly Google up to see the different kinds of naans that are available.
I know what's in my heart.
Fair. All right. So the type of naan or paratha that I would order in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guys, I would just go with your classic garlic naan, where they just put like a boatload of butter and garlic and sometimes coriander on top as well. And I'm making myself hungry again here. Jaren, what are you ordering?
I went with, I believe last time I went out to a restaurant and I got naan, I was served a chili naan with, I guess, just various chilies. And I think cheese on it. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, man. Those are really great. You know what I love about naan specifically, guys? Is that, like, at least in India, when they have the proper sort of like way to grill it, or like, you know, they basically take the dough, they stick it to the side of like this, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a barrel in which there's like an ongoing fire, basically, right? So like it just, yeah, like it cooks up like that. It just has that nice like smoky flavor to it as well. Oh, it's so great. I'm hungry right now. Matt, what do you got?
Yo, Rakush, you better make that an order for 2, because I also got me some garlic naan.
Garlic. There
Rakush,
you go.
I knew what was
That's
in
a
my
tough
heart.
one for you, eh?
I knew what was in my heart. I was like 80% sure you were gonna pick that one too.
Yeah. Honestly, I should have gone with something else.
I'm not gonna abandon garlic naan in this in the just to not match in this game.
What's more important is you stay true to yourself. Guys, you placed the order for the main dish, but while you wait for the main dish, you need something to be brought to your table. You need an appetizer. So, and for this one, guys, I am going to share a link with the two of you. Name an appetizer that you can order in Indian restaurants. For anyone that's listening along, just do a quick Google search. Just look up something, and I'm sure like you'll find something there.
Rakush, I know what's in my heart that I'm getting as an appetizer here too.
All right, guys. So the appetizer that I'm getting when I place an order in Indian restaurants in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm getting something called bhajiyas, which are basically like fried potato in like battered fried potatoes, basically. I don't know what basin is called in English, but it's like a type of flour basically that you use.
I think a chickpea flour or something, not a chickpea.
Chickpea, yeah. Thank you. There you go. I think it's along those lines. So like, yeah, you just make like a batter of that. You dredge the potatoes in it and you fry it up. Sometimes you can even fry up some like cheese blocks or like chilies with it. Ooh.
Hey, do you know anywhere to buy that? Like in this area? Because like ever since I seen that, I wanted to try it.
So the way my mom made it and the way I've kind of inherited the recipe is different than what you would find in restaurants, because they do a little bit of a different fry for it. But yeah, I can definitely figure it out and help you find it, because there's a lot of Indian stores around here. Jaren, what do you got?
So for my answer, based on the link I just clicked, not real quick friendship toss. What do you think my answer is?
Is it the first one on that list, Jaren?
No, my answer is pakoras.
Of course.
That's the first one on that list.
That's the first one on the list.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was looking at number 9, air fryer pakoras, but
oh yeah, I was kind of guessing that as well with you, if you're because air fried, right?
No, because it sounded like pakora, but I do love me an air fryer.
I mean,
yeah.
Jared, you know, I consider this a match with you anyway. You know,
yes.
I went with my heart. I just went with some classic veggie pakoras.
Okay.
Hell yes. Yeah. You know what? I'll give it to you guys. Matt, you have not matched 3 times yet. I'll give this one to you.
Okay.
All right, guys. We've ordered the appetizers. We've ordered the main dish. We've wiped the plates clean. Best meal ever. We got just a little bit of room left here for a dessert. Guys, I just want you to name an Indian dessert that you would order after a full meal. This can be a dessert, or it can be something called a mithai, which is just something that translates to sweetmeats, which airport security got very confused by when we were just flying here in the early 2000s, because one time my mom told him we had sweetmeats in the suitcase, and he was like, what do you mean you got meats? And because you're not allowed to, carry over meats. So no, it's just confectionery, basically. Okay, guys. So the Indian dessert that I'm getting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gotta go with the classic. Gotta go with some gulab jamuns. The little syrup that comes with it. Oh, especially when it's like slightly hot as well when you bite into it. Oh, it's so great.
It's a classic.
Yeah. Jaren, what do you got?
So I'm scrolling through a list right now. And Rakush, I need to ask you about my answer because I don't think I've ever had it before.
Sure.
What is a cham cham?
Chum chums. Oh, it's one of my favorite dishes, actually. So, have you ever had a gulab jamun before?
If I'm reading this right, yes.
Okay. So, it's essentially the same concept, right? Like you have a sweet ball basically that is made with a lot of sugar. Like, I can't remember what the chum chums are made of specifically, but the concept is a sweet ball that is doused in syrup. In fact, it is the same syrup for a lot of places that they use for gulab jamuns. It's just the ball itself is a little bit sweeter as well. Chum chums are delicious. They're very dangerous because they're so small, like basically the size of a single popcorn, that like you can just like down those without realizing how many you've eaten. So delicious as hell, but dangerous as hell too. Matt, what do you get?
I mean, I'm going with the one that always entertained me because it looks like they were painted silver. I'm going with burfi.
Sorry, burfies?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Burfies are great too. Like especially when you get like the milk burfies. Oh, so great.
So good.
Actually, I thought you were gonna go with something called kaju katris because those also have like silver leaf on top of it.
Oh, I have no idea what that is.
So I thought you were gonna go with that one. But there's a lot of amazing Indian sweet dishes, guys. That was 5 questions. That was this week's Don't Match Me. And at 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, I hope I've made you guys excruciatingly hungry.
Go get me some McDonald's.
The finest of
I actually was thinking of going to McDonald's after this. Not to get any of this.
I want to try the McVeggie.
I kind of want to try it, but I also just want a grilled cheese right now, if I'm being honest.
Feel.
fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
with some bacon in there. Ooh.
Alrighty, boys. But speaking about some food, that was another beefy boy episode of the Mistake Zone. As always, I want to thank one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Aldo, for joining me this week and, of course, editing the podcast. Thanks, Matt.
Yo, no problem, man. And as always, I want to thank you, Jaren, for hosting the show. And Jaren, I got a little question for you.
What's up?
What's your upper limit for the cast iron juicer?
That with no point of reference, upper limit without Phil, 175.
Ooh, man. Yo, Jaren, I want to congratulate you on your new cast iron juicer.
Thanks, Matt. And of course, I want to thank my other best friend in the whole wide world, Rakush, for joining us this week and bringing us the Don't Match Me challenge. Thanks, Rakush.
Yo, bro, just make some pineapple juice when I come over next time, bro.
Boys, my partner didn't win the draw for the Nintendo Museum tickets. And then it just occurred to me, why didn't I just apply as well? So that's on me. That's on me.
Damn.
So I think when we're in there in December, I think the actual, the leftover tickets to be sold any day now. So I'll be glued to this website to see if we would potentially get to go to the Nintendo Museum. But thanks to my best friends in the whole wide world. Want to thank food. Want to thank desserts. No thanks to Gamepass right now because we might be priced out, but thanks to our wallets and Cast Iron Juicers and Jordan the Stallion for throwing his glasses across the room. But until then, Matt, please take it away.
This has been the Mistake Zone, and we're all out of listed Rock Band DLC.